Easy ways to get an edge on parenting skills, strategies that work. Parenting, the hardest job in the world, but the one you love the most. There's nothing like having your first child because that's when the real education begins. No matter how much parenting education you receive from books and other means, the reality of parenting never follows a smooth, well laid out path. In spite of the good advice you may receive in the books you read, if something can go wrong, it will. But you can be forewarned about many things at least, so it's a heads up at best. You will be exposed to much information as you travel the path of parenting. This report can just be added to your collection of data. Modern researchers have introduced new studies that seem to prove that spanking a child can result in mental illnesses of some types. Of course, like any new research findings that go against old standard behaviors, there is a lot of debate on this premise. It is obvious, however, that there has been a new trend regarding physical punishment that has surfaced during the last decade. However, keep in mind that this trend is fairly new and spanking has been used for many decades. Don't view the new trend out of context to what went before. How you decide to punish your children is a personal decision each parent must make. There are many effective forms of punishment that aren't physical. One approach that seems to work, and has many variations, is positive reinforcement. For example, instead of always pointing out a child's flaws, congratulate them when they do something good. Probably the best course of action is to implement a logical combination of punishments other than spanking. One habit, or behavior, all successful parents need to learn is effective communication with their children. A child has a natural need for the attention of his or her parent. Negative attention, or communications, can have devastating effects. The first conclusion a child might come to is that your lack of attention indicates that you don't love the child. And, as the child moves into his or her teen years, the effects of this positive self-esteem will be positive. Communicating with your young child in a compassionate manner, as opposed to yelling at your child, has also been shown to be much more effective. This is true even when you take into consideration a child's need to be told something more than one time, which is natural for a child. In this regard, you can boost your child's self-esteem and sense of worth. Working with kids can be difficult, so there's lots of parenting research out there. I found this experiment something worth noting. Children tend to grow up hearing their parents tell them to do or not do certain things. Typically, kids will hear only what they shouldn't be doing, not what they should be doing. A child will hear "throw the ball in the house" right after you told them not to. Kids typically understand that they are doing something wrong when they do it. The command is not followed usually because children were not listening. To alleviate this problem, tell them in a positive way what to do. Kids tend to listen if you say something like "put the ball down" instead of "don't throw it." It's just how it works. Throughout the world, you will find that kids are some of the most understanding people. Anytime you snap at your children because you are having a bad day, be honest with them. Explain your day is not going so well, and that it's what sometimes happens in such circumstances. They will understand and forgive you. When you give them a hug and tell them you love them,